I needed a wee, I needed a wee. I had to go for a wee, I had to go for a wee. I had to go for a wee. Oh, yes. Good evening, darlings, and forgive me being flustered. I just walked in the door and I had to go out for a wee, and I've got the washing to put away, shopping to put away, and I haven't done anything yet because I was late leaving work and I was late getting home. But I'm delighted to be here with you, and a very warm welcome indeed to Wednesday Night Live, where it is verging on a sheer orgasmic joy for me to be once again enjoying a full hour, 60 minutes of sheer wonderful, squishy good times with you, my favourite people in the world. And who have I got in terms of my... No, actually, before we see who we've got, I'm going to have a glass of wine, darlings. And I can report a major triumph. Tonight, my lovelies, I have won the lottery of life. Oh, yes. Why, I hear you ask? Because Sainsbury's have got 25% off 6 bottles of wine or more. Doesn't apply to bottles £6 and under. And wonderfully, taste the difference. Venedia Sparijuelo Rioja Blanco, reduced from £8.50 to £6. Buy 6 of them, 25% off. £4.50. £4.50 per bottle. Cheaper than the cheapest plonk. And this, as far as I remember, this is nice. Well, we're going to find out now, aren't we? We're going to find out now, darlings. It's not going to be as cold as I would like it to be, but it's going to be wet and it's going to be alcoholic. And quite frankly, after the night I've had, that's going to be enough for me. So we will pour a small libation because we want it to chill a little bit more. The glass is chilled, that will help. Get this straight back in the freezer, but I need a little bit just to wet my whistle because I've not even had a drink tonight. Literally not had a drink all night. And I don't mean I haven't had an alcoholic drink. I haven't had anything to drink since 3 o'clock? My glass of Vimto with my lunch. So cheers, darlings, you're very good health. Oh, let's see if this is as good as I remember. Now, I never used to be into Spanish wine. I think I've told you this story before, so I'll cut it very, very short. I've always been all about the French or possibly the Italian. And I was in San Sebastian, in my favourite hotel in the world, the Monte Gualdo. I've become very friendly with the sommelier, and I asked for his advice, told him what I liked. I said, I like a Chablis Premier Cru. He said, you must try this. He said, this time last year, you couldn't have bought this because this got second place in World Wine of the Year. He said, this year, it's, a little bit more affordable. And he gave it to me, and it was stunning. It was the best wine I'd ever drunk. And it was a Rioja Blanco. And that opened me up to the possibilities of the white Spanish grape. And I haven't looked back, but I don't often get to enjoy it. That is so good. That is so good. That is so good that I don't want to chill the life out of it. You chill the life out of your white wine when you've got a nasty cheap plonk, and if it's cold enough, it takes the nasty taste away. This is so good that don't let me freeze this. I could drink this. Well, I am drinking it as it is. That is beautiful. £4.50 a bottle, darlings. If you're into your white wine and you like a really good dry white wine, get your bums down to Sainsbury's and buy a case of this. It's reduced from £8.50 to £6. Buy 6, 25% off, £4.50, so 27 quid for a case. And you won't regret it. Thank me later. God, that's good. That is absolutely stunning. Now, who have we got? Jimmy Quinn, good evening, Boaty and all. Hello, Jimmy. Lord Stiff Upper Lip, hello, Mr. Boaty, sir. Hello to you. I'm back, says Name Me -11. Welcome back, darling. Bad Books is here, good evening. Buddy Scrotter says good evening, Boaty and the people of the interwebs. Hello, Barry. Neil is here. The lovely Neil, aka the Gibbinator, aka the very, very, very nice man. Bad Book says the cock candle is a shadow of its former self. Well, yeah, it is, but it's still going. It's still going. That little nub in there. I'm going. Did you hear that? Sorry, I could have sworn there was a knock at the door there, but the back door. Anyway, there's nobody there. Yeah, but the candle is still going, and I'm going to see if we can somehow keep it going until for the rest of the week, or the rest of the week's live streams. In other words, until midnight tomorrow night. We'll see how we get on. Jimmy Quinn says, "How was work today, Boaty?" Right, you're not going to believe this. Unexpectedly busy. Unexpectedly busy, and which is why I'm all late again. And again, it was just me and Bish, but I've had a really good night. Me and Bish, we've had a proper brothers bonding night. We have those quite often, actually. We're really very close, and I've really enjoyed that. I've had a good night, oh God, that wine. Oh, it's a delayed reaction with this one, darlings. It's just made it to about there. Oh, and it's all spreading out now. The tendrils, it's weird how it works. You've got a cold white wine, but the tendrils that reach out here are all warm and beautiful. God, this is so good. Seriously, buy some. And while you're in Sainsbury's, 2 kilograms. 2 kilograms of white potatoes, £1.29, or if you've got a Nectar card, 15p. Right, really good deal on carrots as well. So get yourself down Sainsbury's. Make sure you've got a Nectar card. Buy your wine. Stock up on potatoes. 2 kilograms, 15p. Come on, guys. You know it makes sense. You're always going to use potatoes. Have them, mash, roast, chips, posh ones, fondant potato. What's the potato where you do it in layers with loads of butter? I can't remember. I've never actually made that. But, oh, yeah. So, yeah, get your bums down to Sainsbury's. Oh, that is nice. Oh, it's rumoured there is a man in Rochdale with one leg, says Barry Scratter. You watch tonight's video then, obviously. Tonight's video, yes, which is, which we didn't know it at the time, but tonight's video is actually going to be, there are some really weird noises in this cottage tonight. Really weird noises. Right, what have you been up to? Somebody has angered the ghosts because it's all starting to happen tonight. What have you been doing? What have you done to upset them? What was I saying? Oh, yeah. Yeah, so the video tonight, we didn't realize it, but that is going to be the first episode of our new podcast series, which will be available on the first wine burp, darlings. Always a proud and happy moment in a Boaty live stream. which will be available on the YouTube podcast platform and in due course, many others. Hello, everyone, says the lovely Sophie. How are you, lovely lot? And hello, Boaty, how are you? Well, we're all the better for having you with us, Soph, and we hope you're wonderfully well. Joe, Cars with JC, evening all. I will be listening in as I'm driving back from work. Had a very cold and wet shift. Got another evening shift, AJ. Oh, good for you. Of course, it's all I used to do. Every shift I ever did at Sainsbury's finished at 11:15. Better that than getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. That's what I say. Oh, this wine is... What an absolute £4.50 a bottle. Ridiculous. God, if I had money, I'd buy 10 cases of it. Seriously, that is so nice. Anyway, don't worry, Joe. You'll soon be warm and snug at home with some good food inside you. Good evening, Soup Slurpers, says Captain Mustard, who is appearing at the moment as Mustard in the Kitchen. And that is a good time to announce that Captain Mustard and I have got something to tell you. Now, you're all familiar with Mustard and Boaty Do Cars. Well, we've decided to have an exciting new rebrand of our car sales enterprise, and we hope that you'll be excited about it as we are. And we are rebranding as the let me get this right, the one-stop hip-hop rover shop. The one-stop hip-hop rover shop. And basically, going forward, we're going to be doing all of our advertising and marketing of the vehicles via the gift of hip hop. So I don't actually know what hip hop is. So if anybody can tell me, do let me know, because I'm going to have to learn all about it in order for me and my dear friend, the good captain, to successfully market our new rebrand, the One Stop Hip Hop Rover Shop. Cool. I don't know if that's how hip hop goes. Is it like rap or something? Not a clue. Or is it more of a physical thing? Oh, you don't actually hop, do you? Well, that would mean hipping. And I know how you hop, but I'm not sure how you hip. Anyway, let me know, or I'll Google it or something. Hello, chat, says Ross, Dino Dad. Is this where I find snappy editing? Well, look, I mean, come on, guys. If you watched my video from well, yesterday would be yesterday, wouldn't it? Go on, tell me that yesterday's video wasn't very snappily edited, because I reckon yesterday's video was edited very sharply indeed. I was quite proud of that. Good evening, English people and other individuals, says Stephen S. Paul, and a very good evening to you. Mark Passad says, San Sebastian is one of the best places I've ever holidayed, and the food was amazing. And the things to advise were outstanding. I love San Sebastian, Mark. As I've said many times before, I used to road trip there every September. The Hotel Monte Gueldo is my favorite hotel in the world. Not the most expensive, although not cheap. Not the flashiest. That would be probably the Bellagio in Vegas or Hilton on the Beach in Dubai or something. But just my favorite for a variety of reasons. It's quite unless it's changed, I've not been for a couple of years, but it was an Accor hotel under their Mercure brand, which makes it a kind of mid-range hotel, but it's still my favorite in the world. I think it's mostly to do with the location, to be fair. If any of you know where the Hotel Monte Gueldo is, and surprisingly, it's on the top of the Monte Gueldo, then you would understand why it's such an entrancing place. God, I always used to try and stay in the same room. What an amazing view from the balcony. Absolutely lovely. And San Sebastian is generally a wonderful place. And certainly, if you are a gastronome, then at the time that I was visiting there, as I've told you many times, three of the world's top five triple Michelin starred restaurants were in the environs of San Sebastian. I normally stayed in San Sebastian for 4 days, had a slow road trip down, slow road trip back, staying at many overnight places in France. 4 nights in San Sebastian. And we used to eat at the three of the top five world's best hotels in turn. And then on the fourth night, we went into San Sebastian itself to and found there's a little kebab shop run by a guy from Oldham, and we got filthy, dirty kebabs, which we took back to the hotel and ate in bed, and it was just wonderful. And the other lovely thing about San Sebastian and the Monte Gueldo in particular is that I'm a massive fan of a funicular railway. Well, the Hotel Monte Gueldo is on top of the Monte Gueldo, one of the twin mounts overlooking the curved bay of San Sebastian. And there is a funicular railway up there, Coca-Cola branded the last time I was there. And it's just wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And also home of my favorite roller coaster in the world, the Suiza Montana, or Montana Suiza, which is one of the oldest roller coasters in the world, and one of only two or three remaining, I believe, which still have a brakeman. In other words, there is a man on the roller coaster whose job is to operate the brakes. There's no automatic braking on the track. And I've got a video up about it somewhere. Have a look at Boaty's coasters if you're interested. It's literally carved into the stone of the mountain and goes both through and underneath the hotel, and it's amazing. And my dearest wish is to visit that hotel and ride that roller coaster and that funicular railway once more, at least once more, before I cough it. And part of that trip would be to scatter my mother's ashes. The road trip she and I did together, and the one and only real thing on my bucket list is that I want to do that road trip one last time with Mum, except I won't be coming home with her. I will go with her and I will leave her along the way, and then I will leave her at flying in the air from the top of the cliff of the Monte Gueldo, and I will drive home alone and with memories, and hopefully with the God, I'm actually getting emotional. Bloody hell, don't cry, you silly sod. Stop talking about it. Yeah, that's a good idea. Stop talking about it. Neil says, you should be used to people knocking on your back door. Oh, Neil, fuck, it's the landlord. Countryside paranoia, says Naomi -1. Used to know noise, so any noise needs inspection. Hi, Boaty. What's the name of that wine, sir? Right, the wine is, I'll show you again because honestly, I cannot recommend this highly enough. Let me give you a proper view. It's Sainsbury's, Taste the Difference, Rioja Blanco. And the specific name, if you need it, is Vinedias Barijuelo. Oh, God, it's stronger than I remember as well. 13%, darlings. 13% wine for £4.50 a bottle. And it's the real stuff. Look, you've got your, in French it would be Appellation. I can't remember what they call it in Spanish. But that is the genuine article. It's not sure what year it is. I think it's quite a young wine. 21, 22. But seriously, that is a ridiculous bargain at £4.50. So if you enjoy a white wine or a dry white wine, or you know somebody who does, get yourself down to Saint Bob's and treat yourself or treat them. Oh, thank you, mustard rosti. Yes, of course, potato rosti. Oh, or there's also, and the other one I was thinking of was dauphinoise, pomme dauphinoise. Now today for my lunch, I made pomme lyonnaise, which sounds posh, and it kind of is. Lyonnaise simply means cooked with onions and butter. So basically, I made posh chips, but then with my posh chips, I had really cheap sausages, economy sausages, which are awful but good. You know what I mean? A really good premium sausage is a meaty, wonderful thing. A really cheap economy sausage is a wonderful thing. It's just the ones in the middle that are a bit pants. I love the economy ones. And I had some in the freezer and I had little else to eat tonight. So I made these posh lyonnaise chips with 3 of these economy sausages. And I made a white pepper and white wine sort of gravy or jus or sauce, whatever you want to say. And I've got to tell you, darlings, it was absolutely fantastic. It genuinely was. It was just one of those El Cheapo Crapo jump up the ladder door, knock up meals that you just eat it and you thought, I am in heaven. It was fabulous. Oh, dear. Oh, and Jimmy Quinn goes on to say dauphinoise. Thank you, Jimmy. It's probably me, says name me -1. It's usually my fault. Oh, dear. Rosti's for the poor, says Jimmy. Oh, Sophie's good, she says. I'm good, thanks. Had chicken and rice for tea tonight. Sounds good. Oh, potato au gratin, Jimmy. Oh, very posh. M&S keep cars. Ah. Oh, hello, Sean. Gosh, you're up very late. I didn't expect to see you on these late ones. But then, of course, oh, hello. The neighbours have just come home. Are they the neighbours? Oh, they're the not neighbours. They're the neighbours next door. Oh, and actually, boo them. Boo them. Boo. Boo. They're the next door but one not neighbours. And they're the ones who complained about my cars to the landlord. So give them a good savage booing. Boo. Anyway, lovely to have you here, Sean. Did you book the hotel? I did. It was the first thing I did after the live stream, darlings. And Sean, thank you so much again. I was going to say you've got no idea how much that has helped, what a difference it's made. But that would be to do you a disservice because I suspect you know exactly how much it means. And I'm sure that's why you did it. And I am incredibly grateful. And bear with. Bear with. Here we are. Oh, well, that's the invoice, isn't it? It was the first thing I did after the live stream last night. I was so excited. Oh, well, hopefully you can see that. Phone on phone doesn't come out very well on film, does it? But yeah. And Sean, I was going to ping you and ask you this, but I might as well do it on camera. I've had another thought regarding the logistics of the initiality of coming down. Initiality, is that a word? Probably not. Oh, well, I've invented it now. And I'd been working on the basis that I would go via the family mountain, doing the detour. And it suddenly struck me today that I'd rather not do that. I think it would work better if I kind of, as that's supposed to be the feature of the first episode, I think it would work better if I kind of worked up to it a bit. So I'm now thinking that probably the best way to work this would be to just come directly to you, basically, and not do anything beforehand. And then if you fancied coming with me, be kind enough to come with me, I'd love to share my family mountain and the journey to it, which is a little bit hairy, but could be a lot of fun and some good content. I'd be more than happy to share that with you, or if you didn't fancy it, I could do it on my own the following day on the way home. But I thought, yeah, work up to it rather than banging it in, rather than it being the first thing in the thing, and then that means that I could come directly to you and basically, Sean, you could tell me what to do because after a lifetime in television, you know how to put together a film considerably better than I do. So, I mean, I'll buy you an ice cream. It won't be an entirely one-sided, one-way relationship. But no, seriously, I was thinking about it today, and that just made so much more sense to do it that way rather than piddling about on the way down. And so if that would be okay with you, do let me know. Hip hop, my hips gone pop, says Paddy Scrotter. Yeah, that would be something like that. Everybody's saying hello to Sean. That's nice. Speaking of hip hop, Swede Mason does a good edit. He does a wonderful edit. You wouldn't think that I know who you're talking about, but I do, because I don't know anything else that Swede Mason has done, but I do know he is responsible, or she, or they are responsible for the MasterChef Synthesia, or whatever it was he called it, which was one of the best things ever. And it was like a YouTube social media edited mashup, but it charted. I believe it went to number 37 in the charts, which is no mean feat. And you probably know it. Certainly if you're a MasterChef fan, you'll know it. I like the base. I like the buttery base. I like the buttery biscuit base. That one. And it is incredibly well done. Steve Hogg says, I was swapping my stereo in my Rover 25 and your Alpine thingy helped. I'm delighted to hear it, Steve Hogg. I'm delighted to hear it. Yeah, one of the two stereos that I would recommend for a contemporary 2000 orange glow period Rover. The Alpine 200 BT, God, I've forgotten what it's called now, UBT, whatever it is. The one I put in the video, the one I've got in Sheeson, or alternatively the Sony, whatever it is that I told Joe about, and Joe has now got it in Michael Jackson. A free bottle of wine with every car, asked Paddy Scrotter. Yeah, we could do that. Well, unless we're selling it at a loss. Yeah, if you buy a car, I'll give you a bottle of wine. Oh, thank you, Sophie. Yeah, indeed, I will always have those memories. Mr. Stephen Parry from Port Sunlight in the Wirral, the Leisure Peninsula. And good evening to you, sir. Says, how are you tonight, Mr. Good Old Boaty? Which vehicles have you been out in today? Was the Rover 114 one of your yard cars with Mr. Mustard? Good question. Today I've been out in Sheeson. I've been out in Sir Richard and Lady Morris, and then I've been to work in Andy Pandy. So yeah, I've been out and about a bit today. Rover 114, no, that's nothing to do with me. We've got Lewis Hamilton, the 111, who is currently living in the restaurant yard. A very good evening, Boaty, and everyone, says Andrew Buttigieg, who we also know and very much love as Ivor Spotty Botty. Morgan Morecambe is back. How is everyone? Good evening, Morgan. Really good to have you back with us. Thank you. Stephen S. Paul says gargantuan sausage. Oh dear. Oh, Neil says, I've got an apprentice on the weekend who's going to be fitting the exhaust to Harry Seacombe. Can you guess who it is? I'm gonna go with is it Sophie by any chance, Neil? I'm guessing it's Sophie. More on the naughty neighbours, please, says Naomi -1. I've been away a while. They're all taxed and primarily away from the house anyway. Yeah, they are indeed. It was not neighbour's good lady wife who apparently raised the grievance, because this was a while ago now that I did mention it at the time. Because I had a few cars parked. You've seen them, you know where they're parked, you've seen the videos, and they're down by the village hall. And she complained because twice a year the village hall is used for like election purposes or something similar, and sometimes 3 or 4 cars want to park there. And she was very annoyed. She's on the local committee. She was very annoyed that some people had to park and walk up to 10 yards to the village hall because I'd inconsiderately parked 2 or 3 cars a little too close to it. So there we are. As an aside on that, this is something that I love. Because I'm a Facebook dude, I do like Facebook, as you may know, and I've liked Facebook ever since 2008. So when I moved here, the first thing I did, having checked that there wasn't one, was start a village community Facebook group. That's the sort of thing I do, darlings. I did it when I moved to Matlock Bath as well. And the Matlock Bath one now is absolutely massive. Massive. And I mean massive. And I don't allow any advertising on it unless it's directly, unless it's actually from a business in the village. And it's so big now that when I get round to it, I'm going to monetize it. I'm going to monetize it, and I'm going to let anybody advertise anything for money. Honestly, it's massive. This village Facebook group isn't massive. It's relatively small. But I do find it very amusing when people use it to complain about me. Not that anybody has complained about me for a while. And oh, the candle's gone out. Oh no. Oh, my penis candle has finally expired. Oh, darlings, we're going to be candleless for the foreseeable future. Oh, what a terrible thing. I've been here 8 years and I've only had 2 complaints. And to be fair, one of them, Nick next door, who is still we haven't fallen out. Well, you all know the story anyway. That one was justified, in fairness. The other one definitely wasn't. You always get that one person, don't you? Or a couple of people in your locale who just want to be difficult. Now, admittedly, I have a few cars. We all know this. It's not like they're a secret. And I park them. You know where I park them. You see them on the video. They're taxed, they're MOT'd, they're insured. I thoughtfully park them down the road where they're not in anybody's way and where nobody else would park anyway. So they're not causing any offence or nuisance to anybody whatsoever. But yeah, you can guarantee that in the space of 8 years, there was bound to be one complaint, wasn't there? Honestly. And the ironic thing is that the household that complained have got more cars than me. Oh, yeah. Now, admittedly, there are more people in the household. There's husband, wife, daughter, daughter's boyfriend, and they've got like 2 cars each, um, which is more cars than I have. Oh, 2 cars each plus a tractor, plus because I'm sure he's a policeman, quite a high-ranking one, but they also farm and they also keep horses. People do that sort of thing around here. Mm. And I've never had a problem with them. Never had a problem with them. Never been, never been friends or anything like that. But friendly neighbours, to say hello to. Never fallen out or anything like that. They did me a favour once. They found my phone in the snow when I dropped it. So yeah, I never had a fallout or anything like that. But yeah, they've got more cars than me, but because I'm a person on my own, I'm not allowed to have the same number of cars that every other household has. But there we are. There we are. Everything's been fine for a while now, and will hopefully be fine again. Because I did reduce the number. So I don't have a crazy number here now. In fact, I only have, and this is very reasonable of me. I've got one in the pits, I've got one in pole position, and then I've got 4 dotted down the road. You know where they all are, which in some places might sound a little bit excessive, but I've got fewer cars than anybody else. Nick, my actual next door neighbour, lovely Nick, who has been providing me with non-stop sherry since I grovelled an apology because I disturbed him at night and changed all of the live stream thing and started using a microphone so that he hasn't heard a whisper from me for 6 months or 8 months or however long it is. And he's so grateful for that he keeps bringing me alcohol, which is very nice of him. He's got about 30 cars, for God's sake. There we are. Sean says, that sounds perfect. I was going to offer to edit the first episode for you. Oh, Sean, bless you. Well, I'm glad it's perfect for you because it's kind of ideal for me. I was thinking about this, and I think that it would be more fun, more enjoyable, and possibly make better content as well if we were to just do it together. I tend to work better when I bounce off somebody than when I'm on my own. And I just love the idea of I love the idea of exploring my memories and my history with somebody who kind of understands and is on their own journey of re-exploration and so on. But it would be a little bit different because I would be showing you places that you might not have immediately got to on your own, or you might even never have seen before, and indeed vice versa. And let's face it, it's always good content and great fun when 2 chaps of a certain age get together in some semi-classic old car and I don't know. I mean, it's the last of the summer wine vibe, isn't it? Or the Top Gear vibe, or the 2 fat ladies vibe, or the 2 greedy Italians vibe. It's too good to ignore the possibilities. And anyway, bugger the YouTube thing. I would just really enjoy doing it. So I'm delighted you're up for it, and I will very gratefully and gracefully accept any advice or offers of help on anything to do with the filming or editing or general putting together or even planning or creating the content. I'm in absolutely no position to turn down any offers of that nature, and I will I will keep you well supplied with ice cream or beautiful Himalayan food or delicacies of your personal choice or anything else I can think of um, to keep me in your good books. But seriously, we could have a lot of fun um, over the over the spring, maybe over the summer as well, if you fancy keeping it going. We got plenty of cars to have a play in. There's an awful lot of Wales to explore, and I think it would be really good fun to do it together. Finally, you know who Swede Mason is, says Barry Scrotty. Good man, Boaty. I did. Nobody else knew, I don't think. I did. I love that MasterChef thing. Now, my friend Big Tall Steve. Now, you know Big Tall Steve. Uh, I did a video on with him on his Fiat 500, the 1967 Sicilian left-hand drive import. You remember the one? Me, 6'5", Steve, 6'7", squeezing into one of the world's smallest cars. I mean, that was fun. I did another video where I drove his big, grunty, stupid TVR. It's not stupid. I love it. And of course, I did the electric Jaguar video with Steve. In fact, he very kindly supplied the vehicle for me. Um, but yeah, me and Steve, we've got a MasterChef thing going on. And every time MasterChef is mentioned in a Facebook post, we have to post the Swede Mason MasterChef Synthesia. And as far as we're concerned, it's a law. And we've been doing that, well, since the day it was first made. I like the base. In fact, just in case you don't know what I'm talking about, I will post it in the Facebook group after tonight's live stream. I love my Sony radio, says Joe. I'm glad you do, Joe. It's a really good unit, isn't it? As I say, I've got it in Stigbert. Not through planning. It came in Dick Dum, aka Sir Richard and Lady Morris. And as you know, I put the original Becca back in that. And the Sony migrated to Stigbert. Oh, I'm very wrong with The Apprentice, says Neil. Oh, gosh. My JVC is dabbing all that bull, says Neil. But I haven't got that wide in yet. Oh, is that the one you got for 25 quid, Neil? That was a ridiculous bargain. No Me Minus One says, public road, jog on. Oh, Mustard says, Joe is your apprentice. Joe's not up here. Hang on, when was it? He said this weekend, didn't he? Joe's not up this weekend, is he? The Candle of Melted Dreams, yeah, and Forgotten Dreams. That I'm going to have to clean that up tomorrow. It actually looks quite atmospheric, doesn't it? It looks like an Antarctic landscape, slightly singed in places. I'm actually tempted to leave it there and put candles either side of it. I mean, if I was revisiting old times and had some company, which isn't going to happen this week. No possibility of any company until next week, but I might have to move it then. But no, I quite like it there. Oh, you were completely correct, Mustard. Joe is the apprentice. He's popping up to see us for a few days. Oh, fabulous. And if you can give me a hand fixing you can give me a hand fixing the Dolomite, Joe, says Neil, and I'll take you for a spin in it. It's a 10-minute job. Oh, I didn't know Joe was head. Blimey, Joe, you do get about, don't you? Boaty, says Paddy Scrotter. I have to tell you that I was suggesting Mustard edit some of your catchphrases in a Swede Mason style. That would be funny. Do I have catchphrases? You see, I think you never think yourself that you have catchphrases, but other people think you do. I mean, whenever anybody impersonates me, it's always, hello, my lovelies, which, oh, okay, maybe it does sound a bit like me. I don't know. But I don't think of myself as having catchphrases. Oh, okay. I suppose I've got Pachu and indeed Bosh now, haven't I? Oh, and I've got Tractor. You don't even have a cat, says Decold. I would love to have a cat. Although, would I? Yeah, I would. I would. In theory, I dislike cats' sense of entitlement. But in reality, I've had cats many times over the years, and I've loved them utterly, hopelessly, and dearly. And even the sense of entitlement, I even love that. And I would love to have a cat. In fact, I would have cats. If it weren't for the proximity of the main road, then I would have a cat or cats. And, cats live locally, but I don't know. I'm not clever enough to know how to keep them away from the main road and how to keep them from getting squished. Now, when down the roadie next doory people moved in, however long ago that was, and I had a cat for a short time then, because one of their cats, they came equipped with 4 cats, I think, and one of them just wandered into my place and set up home here and made no bones about it. And they eventually came and got him back. I didn't encourage him. He just decided he liked it here. He was very happy. Literally, the day after they moved in, he came and found me and said hello, and I said hello back. And he sort of said the door was open, so he decided to have a nose around, decided he liked it, and just moved in. And I did, I did tell them where he was, and I said, "Look, this is nothing. I'm not trying to steal your cat." And they said, "Oh, he's like that. He's like that. That's what he does. He will go to different people every day. Don't worry about it." But he didn't do that with me. He just moved in and really, really, really didn't want to move out. And eventually, after however long it was, they really missed him and they wanted him back, and he's their cat. They're entitled to that, and they had to try and get him out. He put up a hell of a fight. Really didn't want to leave. But anyway, the point was that they came equipped with 4 cats. And of the 4 cats, 2 are still very happily gabbing about. 2 of the others met an unfortunate end on the main road. And I don't know what the difference was between the 2 that got squished and the 2 that had the sense to stay off the road. And I don't know how to instill, or how I would instill in a cat that I had, how to stay away from that nasty main road. I mean, I don't know, do cats can you teach them? Do they have an innate sense? Do some have a sense and do some not? I mean, if I thought I could safely have a cat, I would have one. The landlord would be absolutely fine with it. I mean, ideally, I'd have a dog. I've had dogs all of my life. But that wouldn't be fair because I'm not here too much to have a dog, whereas a cat would be okay. I've had cats all of my life as well. Normally had a mixture. I've tended to live with a menagerie of animals, not necessarily through my own devices, just through family stuff and whatnot. I was brought up with dogs and exclusively dogs. But then as an adult, when I was married, we had, well, most of the time I was married, we had 2 dogs, 2 cats, rabbits. Oh God, we had house rabbits. That's a whole different story. We didn't plan to, but we ended up, oh, it was a right old menagerie. And then when I was with Boo in Matlock Bath, I've said many times, Boo was just Dr. Doolittle. She had some connection with animals, which meant that every single animal intrinsically trusted and loved her. And as a result, again, we had a right old menagerie. We moved in with no pets and didn't intend to have any pets. Within a couple of weeks of moving in, we had 2 cats. And then we had baby squirrels when the mother was killed or whatever, and Boo raised them. She was remarkable with animals, honestly. Like, for example, a slow worm. Now, you probably know as well as I do that if you go to hold a slow worm, then they will shed their tail and slither away. Although they're not a snake, they're a legless lizard. We had slow worms around in Matlock Bath. We had quite a few slow rooms. Slow rooms? Tricky chaps, words. I'm struggling with the words because I've just suddenly had a mental block on what the cottage was called, for God's sake. Oh, the Cabbage Patch. Of course it was the Cabbage Patch. Cabbage Patch Cottage is what it was called. And the slow worms loved Boo. She could handle them. They could. Same with the squirrels. They used to sit on her all the time. So I am used to being around animals. Tricky chaps, word, says Mustard. They are indeed. Diddly do. What? Oh, we're on to my catchphrases. Oh, okay. Okay. Right. Oh, right. We're talking about my catchphrases. So, Mustard offers tricky chaps words. Yeah, okay. That is one of mine. And that's original to me, by the way. That's not one I copied from anybody else. That's a meism. I'm not reading that out, offers Andrew. And yeah, I come out with that one quite regularly. The Mustard goes on. Spending some time being dead. Yes, again, that's one of mine. And again, that's original to me. Oh, and Andrew adds for tax purposes. Yeah, I don't know where that came from, but I do trot it out all the time. In my mind, nobody is ever like dead in terms of finality. They're spending some time being dead. Oh no, it's not totally original to me, is it? I've just remembered where I got it from. It's from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, except that it isn't. It's not from. It's from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series, but specifically is from book number. It's from book number 2, I think, which is titled "The Restaurant at the End of the Universe." The original 4. There went on to be many more, but the original 4 were the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, The Restaurant at the End of the Universe, Life, the Universe, and Everything, and So Long and Thanks for All the Fish. There were more afterwards, but yeah, spending time being dead for tax purposes, I did nick that. It's not one of mine. So I humbly admit that. And it's from The Restaurant at the End of the Universe. And I think it was Hot Black Desiato. And he was dining at the restaurant at the end of the universe, and Ford Prefect knew him and went to talk to him, but was unable to get much of a response. And his bodyguard explained that Mr. Desiato was spending some time being dead for tax purposes. And that amused me. And it particularly amused me because I know somebody it happened to in real life. He's dead now, so I can talk about him. But you'll have heard of me talk about with great fondness the goat, my dear friend, the goat, who was like a surrogate father to me. I loved him dearly. He was, God, what was he? I mean, he kind of worked for us, I suppose, at the car dealership, but you can't call it like that. Goat was an incredibly intelligent, expensively well-educated man. And there was a time when he was the biggest car dealer in Birmingham. And then basically he lost it all through, he claims, through a series of women. And that's quite possibly true. Ask me how I know. Experience. And found himself probably, and I think about this sometimes, probably in a not dissimilar position to me, having been wealthy, successful, and suddenly living out some weird life in his 50s and then his 60s before he very sadly passed away. And he worked with us. He lived next door to me in the other flat above the showrooms for for a long period. He was still living there when I moved out, and he was living there when he died. But the point is that the goat literally died for tax purposes. He's dead now, so I'm not doing any harm. But he literally faked his own death, attended his own funeral, changed his identity, all of that. So my friend the goat were literally spent time being dead for tax purposes until he actually died. Maybe he's still being dead for tax purposes. Maybe he'll come back. Oh, you have to laugh. One of these days, I'll do a video or a live stream that is just about Goat and the adventures that we had together, because they are ridiculous. He taught me so much about life and everything in it. I'll give you a little taster. There was a time I was invited to and attended a very, very, very posh dinner party. I mean, a very posh dinner party, the poshest of the posh, the most formal of the formal. And Goat was also invited, despite the fact that he was, poor as a church mouse. Because of who he was and his history and whatnot, he was still a big figure in society. Goat introduced me into society that I'd never been part of before. I was a kid who was, after coming from Wales, I was dragged up on a council estate. Not dragged up. My parents did an amazing job with me. But I was still a council house kid, brought up in poverty. And suddenly, thanks to Goat easing me into it, I'm mixing in wealthy society with Olympians and famous people and all of this, that, and the other. And it was Goat who taught me how to deal with it, how not to be a prick, how not to be overawed. Except, so we're at this dinner party, and the brandy after the meal, the brandy kind of got stuck at the table somewhere near Goat, and then the port did too. And ultimately, Goat did his normal thing and drank himself into a stupor and ordered me. We had a hierarchical, the wine is kicking in. We had a hierarchical arrangement at the car dealerships, and it was at Goat's behest, and it was based on army ranks. So everybody had a rank, and Goat was major cook, and everybody had their rank. And it was a constant argument with me and Goat, because Goat always called me private. Even when I was fucking managing director of the place, because he insisted that you're not officer material, dear boy. But everybody had a rank. But Goat kind of lived it out as well. So, end of the dinner party, he's absolutely shit-faced. He can't walk. So he instructs his troops to carry him to his car, which we duly did. And bizarrely, the kind of life that we all had then, didn't actually think twice about it. So we carried this drunk, late middle-aged gentleman to his car, and he looked up at me as we're carrying him. He looked up at me with his blue eyes and this cherubic, innocent, childish expression, and he said, "It's only life, Jace. Don't ever make the mistake of taking it too seriously." And giggled, and I just thought that's probably the best fucking advice you've ever had, son. So listen to that. And we poured him into his car, and he drove the 3 miles back home, except he didn't. He drove an hour and he drove a mile and a half of the 3 miles back home, parked the car on a verge, and slept there overnight until he sobered up. Bless him. There's so many stories I could tell you about the goat. Oh God. But honestly, that is one of the best pieces of advice I think I've ever had. It's only life. Don't make the mistake of taking it too seriously. Have a good time. And on that note, darlings, it's gone midnight. This hour has just flown by. So start saying your good nights, and I will catch up with the few remaining comments. Stick Hog says your cat would keep to the back. If I thought it would, then I would have one, because I am very, very fond of cats. I love their sense of entitlement, actually. It amuses and entrances me. And every time I've ended up with a cat or cats in my life, I've loved them utterly, absolutely, utterly, devoted to them. And I would love to have a cat. And if I didn't care about them so much, I would just have one. And if they got squashed, they got squashed. But so if anybody could tell me how I could have a cat, I wouldn't want it to be a house cat. I would want it to be able to go out when it wanted to. But if anybody could seriously tell me, is there anything that you can do to keep a cat away from a main road, do let me know. Oh, another catchphrase from Andrew: go and fornicate a pole, which is paraphrasing that. Yeah, okay, that is another of my catchphrases, but again, that one isn't original to me either. That's actually a mustardism that I nicked off him because it really amused me. Wine says name me -1. It's okay, I've just checked it. Not enough likes, people, say Stephen S. Ball. Oh yeah, 13 of them. But we've done all right today. It's been over 30 most of the time, and I've just really loved being here with you, so thank you. I'm on a collection adventure tomorrow, says Joe, collecting a fellow old friend. Oh, well, that will be the silver automatic 25, won't it, Joe? Forgive me, I can't remember the name, but I have been keeping up with your Facebook doings. And I know how excited you are about restoring it to its beautifully tended to former glory. Yes, says Andrew. Oh, I got it right. Hot Black Desiato. Yeah. The loudest heavy metal rock band in the known universe. Oh, there you go. Came out of the old brain. I've been dead clinically twice, says Stephen S. Paul. It's not too bad. Sorry. Sorry, that just got me. I've been clinically dead twice, Boaty. It's not too bad. No, no noisy neighbours, no bullshit, no nothing. Highly recommended. Yeah. Uh, Name Me Minus One says ways to make Formula One fairer. Weight ballast like in touring cars. 45 kilograms for the win, 30 kilograms for second, and 15 kilograms for third. Blimey. And then everybody started saying good night. Oh, Neil has got a Boaty catchphrase. Fuck it, she'll do. Oh, it was Brick. Brick the Rover 25 order. How about a caravan cat, asked Mustard. Yeah, I'd love a caravan cat. Why not? Why not? I know you would love cats as well. Well, actually, why haven't you got cats? I mean, oh, okay, you're a bit near you're a bit near the main road as well. And like me, you are a renter, so maybe you're not allowed to have pets. Oh, actually, you rent off family though, don't you? So you probably would be. I do try and justify it to myself sometimes. I do say that all the cats I've had that have been in my life have been rescue cats. And I think, well, if I get a rescue cat, then even though there is a possibility they might stray onto the road, wouldn't I be doing a good thing by giving them the chance of having a nice, pampered, looked after life and hope they didn't stray onto the road? I don't know. That's a moral conundrum. Oh, Eric, not Brick. Right, okay. Happy Easter, English people, say Stephen S. Paul. And right, that is it, darlings. I've really enjoyed tonight. Thank you so much. It's flown by. I can't remember what the hell I've said. So hopefully it all made some kind of sense. Oh, what else is there? Oh, yeah, there's podcast things happening. I'll tell you about that. Never. Sean, really? Well, bloody hell, Sean. You can tell you're not making videos at the moment, mate. Yeah, I mean, it's gone midnight and you're still up and watching this rubbish. But extra. Well, probably a Cockney thing, isn't it? Extra. It's snowing in the Rhondda. Sean, my daily diary, which will come out tomorrow, that I recorded today, I was talking about that because I went out for a drive today. I had a couple of little errands to do. And I drove through rain and hail and whatnot. And I was talking about when I look at Facebook memories, where are we now? It's the 27th of March. It might be tomorrow now, technically, but it was the 27th of March. And Facebook memories was showing me that 2 years ago today, I had full on heavy snow here at Windy Bum. And it seems that, again, going through Facebook memories, which are a wonderful thing, really, historically, that at around this time in spring, then here at Windy Bum in the Peak, it can vary from day to day to beautiful spring, looks like we're going into summer, and then suddenly you're back into snow again. So is it really snowing in the Rhondda? Blimey. At work, says Stephen S. Paul, we have to keep a lookout for mountain lions and bobcats, etc. Stephen, blimey, you lead such a different life to us. I would love, if I ever win the lottery or become an incredibly famous YouTubist and influencer type person, then I will spend a load of money so that all of us in a scrotum who have, clung to the wreckage, clung to the life raft of this little community floating in the virtual reality. I will spend the money to make sure that we all actually get to visit each other and experience each other's lives. Wouldn't that be amazing? Because Stephen S. Paul, He lives in, bless him, he lives in a desert where he has to look out for mountain lions, and he's got hundreds of cars that don't have any rust, and finds stashes of presumably ill-gotten gains of dollars. We've got people down under, including my best friend from school. Wouldn't it be great to do just a thing where we all spent a year spending time with each other? Oh, I'd love that. It's my birthday on Saturday, says Joe. Wow. Okay, how old, Joe? How old are you, you young pup? You make all of us old farts jealous. What are you? 20? God, actually, what are you? I don't know. What are you? 23, 24, 25, 22, something like that? Tell me, and then I'll end the live stream because it is time to go. I've got more of this beautiful wine to drink. I've got some supper to get going. I'm in a very happy place tonight, darlings. Thank you for being part of that. In fact, no, let's let you good people go. So thank you so much for being with me for this time. I've, as I say, really enjoyed it. It's been one of those where the time has just flown. I forgot to put it onto all comments instead of live chat. I've only just realized. If I've missed your comment, I apologize. That wine is really kicking in. I'm also tired, which multiplies the effect. So thank you so much. Have a safe and peaceful night. Have the best day that you can tomorrow. And please, please take the best care of yourself that you can and those around you. And again, please join me tomorrow night. Same time, same place. 11 o'clock, and it will be Thursday Night Live. And Sean, bang up a photo in, if it is snowing, really, please pop up a photo in your Facebook group or my Facebook group or somewhere so that we can share the snowy joy. Okay, darlings, that is it. Much love from me. See you tomorrow. But you, and indeed, bye.